Our story begins in Great Britain, the birthplace of capitalism. It was here that the enclosure movement transformed communal agricultural lands into privately owned plots, sowing the seeds of capitalism. Dr. Lim emphasizes the crux of capitalism as the private ownership of productive assets and the capacity to appropriate the yield from those assets. The key lies in enforceable property rights, where it's crystal clear who owns what. But the world isn't a capitalist monolith. Dr. Lim warns, different cultures interpret intellectual property rights in diverse ways. The notion that creativity should be rewarded with payment is deeply rooted in Judeo-Christian beliefs. However, in societies influenced by Hinduism, Buddhism, or Confucianism, knowledge is seen as a free good, a public commodity. Dr. Lim identifies a paradox in the statement, what everyone owns, no one owns. Take environmental pollution, for instance. When everyone can pollute, each individual has an incentive to pollute, passing the cleanup cost downstream or downwind, but on privately owned land, the pollution market functions. Private owners won't permit waste dumping on their properties, leading some entrepreneurs to capitalize on this by owning dump sites. Yet this introduces a new problem. These owners may exploit the free pollution rights, revealing capitalism's inability to establish ownership rights to a clean environment. In Dr. Lim's vision of the new economy, knowledge is king. Raw materials can be bought and moved. Financial capital can be borrowed or financed. But knowledge is the primary determinant of economic success. The future success of a business is more likely to be embedded in its electronic information and logistics systems than in its advertising or product novelty. As such, intellectual property rights have moved from the outskirts to the heart of economic success. Dr. Lim stresses, without a clear and enforceable system, knowledge-based capitalism will fail. Intellectual property can also be used strategically to create uncertainties and increase startup costs for competitors. The tools to establish and enforce ownership rights to intellectual property have traditionally been patents, copyrights, trademarks, and trade secrets. Yet, new technologies are challenging the effectiveness of this old system, originally designed for the technology of the 19th century. Dr. Lim poses a question. Is downloading a book from the internet equivalent to browsing it in a library? If so, how do you sell books when they can be electronically scanned or downloaded for free? Dr. Lim further muses, a photo is copyrightable, though the scene in the photo is not. He applies this to genome projects, suggesting sequences may be copyrightable for the same reason. The world is complex, and Dr. Lim's insights invite us to question our understanding of capitalism, ownership, and intellectual property rights in this ever-evolving landscape.